Hello, ladies and gentlemen and non-binary pals. This is another edition of the Metroid Fusion Randomizer Tournament 2022 Spoiler Edition. We are running with the spoiler logs in this tournament. The players will be getting the spoiler logs upon their upon the start of the race. So. I am Jagger G. With me is Autumn on commentary. How's it going, Autumn?
It is going great. Looking forward to finally getting back to some Metroid Fusion action here. Had a bit of a cool spell, although I'm not sure if anyone noticed around here what with SGL having just gone on.
Yeah, that's been a lot of fun. I'm just getting some things set up here.
And I checked the spoiler log, and it told me we are in for some great races today. So we are down in the elimination bracket in round 2, the final round 2 matchup we have. We're going to be bringing today MetalGlennSolid versus Red Corona in a best out of 3. The winner will move on to face me in the next round, and the loser is out of the tournament. So we've got some stakes on the line here. And I don't mean the tasty ones.
Oh.
I said that I wasn't going to give the bingo square, and then I didn't even wait for the first race. You're welcome, chat. So, Concert, you want to know who I want to face? I want to face them both. 2v1 me.
All right, and they're just about to get off pretty soon and make their way up to the data room for their first item. If y'all want to take a guess as to what that is, go for it. Whereas they do have the spoiler log. They already know what it is, as do I, as I also have it up right now.
And I haven't clicked yet, but it could be Morph Ball. It could be any type of missile data, or it could be Speed Booster. Now I know what they're starting with, but we'll find out. And it looks like we've got items all over the station today. I'm seeing items on the main deck in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so we have a question in chat. As someone kind of new to Fusion Rando, what are the key points to look for? So our runners need to get enough things done in order to spawn the SAX fight and reach the end of the game. For that, they will need Charge Beam, Plasma Beam, some sort of missiles, as well as opening the red security locks so that they can go up to the operation deck for that. Certain other items may be required along the way to get there. The only other items that are completely hard required are we'll need Gravity Suit, unless our runners really want to destroy their thumbs going out of logic. We more or less need Speed Booster unless someone's going for some out-of-bounds shenanigans, which not as common here as they are in Metroid Prime. As well as we'll need Morph Ball, one of Varia or Screw Attack, and a lot of times bombs or power bomb data will be needed. Also, we need a jump upgrade. That was about as sloppy as I could give you a quick summary there. Not sure about the quick. And it looks like both of our runners making their way up to the main operations deck. Always the first check you make, picking up missiles. Super missile data actually in the data room. And I'm not sure where Glenn is going.
Autopiloting. So yeah, there's we got some with the choices between items, it's pretty common to not go to Yakuza immediately. But yeah, it's the only place you can go right now. And Glenn is about to find out.
Yeah, and there definitely is some availability into progression here. Other settings we have split security turned off on this, so anytime you open a security level, you also open up all lower security levels. If you don't do that with sector shuffle on, it kind of makes things get a little samey. Also, we have sector shuffle on, so normally there's a certain order to the elevators at the bottom of the main elevator to get into the sectors, but those could be in any order, and our runners, this is probably the least stacked Arachnus area I've ever seen, with just Morph Ball at first missiles and picking up an E-Tank. And showing off that you can actually skip Arachnus as long as you already have Morph Ball. You just roll out of the room and you say no thank you.
Unfortunately, you can't skip Morph Ball. I actually made this same mistake yesterday in practice.
So oh no.
Happens to the best of us, and also me.
Yeah, and even if Morph Ball is so hard required in this game, because even all of our out-of-bound hijinks generally require Morph. Red going to slip into the cubby here. Oh, it looks like we've got win indicators on our layout as well. So that is a pleasant change. Although it looks like they're both set showing as though we have one win each when we in fact are in game one, to the best of my knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, with Spoiler Log, it's a completely different type of skill set that it challenges, because you know where everything is, but we don't give the runners any time to look at it in advance. And the Spoiler Log, we have a spreadsheet that translates it, but it still shows in the order that the randomizer placed it, which isn't necessarily the most efficient order to pick things up. So you have to figure out what things you need, what things you can get by without, and what's needed to get to a check, and what are you forgetting that you need that would make the whole seat 5 minutes faster if you just didn't need to do one thing of backtracking. Oh, with that, Red making his way through Sector 2 here, using super missiles to make quick work of all of the enemies here. And we're going to get our level 1 locks open. And level 1 locks will give us access to sectors 3 and 1, as well as we'll open up the sector 2 data room, which is where our speed booster is, and that's always an item that runners want to prioritize because we want to go fast. Conster, they're not given a set time to look at it, it's just the spoiler log goes live at the same time that the race starts, so most runners will have it open either on a separate device or a second monitor.
Yeah, a lot of other spoiler log tournaments like Super Metroid or A Link to the Past spoiler log tournaments, they usually allow players like 15 minutes in advance, but in this case we decided it would be more fun and chaotic and brain frying to actually just start the give the spoiler log on go. They do have a lot of elevators and screen transitions in between which they can take a peek at the spoiler log, because they do kind of start off just on the same path to get the Sector 0, the main deck data room. So
and Red making a heads-up play to carry a Shine Spark here. Actually just making a swag play. I thought he was going to pick up the E-Tank behind the Kago. But yeah, we like to have a bit of chaos here, especially because Fusion Randomizer is a pretty quick game, and with the spoiler log without time to prepare, we see a lot of these races finishing in 20 to 30 minutes. So if we had time to prepare, who knows what kind of times we would be seeing. I think it's in the realm of possibility that we would see a sub 15 somewhere. Fastest we've seen so far in the tournament was a 17 something. And we've seen a lot of times in the low 20s.
I'm good. A safety save from Red's side. Safety saves still are pretty significant. You won't see very many, if any, save warps in which players like check items and then go go back if it's nothing, because they already know whether or not there is something in their way, on their path.
As someone who's known as being arguably the queen of save scum strats, even I haven't found a way to implement them in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
However, saving is important because Fusion is still a deadly game and has a number of soft locks, so you can run into some trouble. Meanwhile, Red about to spark across the lava dive, where there will be Charge Beam as well as High Jump Boots as the near item. And what's down underneath? There will be some power bombs underneath the lava, so I have a feeling we're going to see Red skip that. So power bombs, you need the main power bomb data in order to be able to use them. All an expansion does is give you an additional 2 ammo, which you will rarely need. So a power bomb tank is basically just a free 2-second time loss. Our runners will need to make their way back to Sector 1 later, as their gravity suit is going to be here as well. However, that is locked behind the screw attack, so our runners have more that they need to do. And Red just showing off with another Shine Spark here.
Yeah, on that particular Shine Spark, I'm not entirely sure if it's actually faster or just feels more swag. But it does certainly make the room easier. If they do have Charge Beam to deal with the Hornodes on the way out, but if they didn't, then that's certainly an obstacle to consider. Shine Sparking is just still the easiest way, even if it's not fastest.
Yeah, and I would be inclined to say that it's probably slower just with the bonk and the wind-up animation.
It's kind of a toss-up, because Shine Sparking is the fastest form of movement, but it's kind of just negated by those, yeah.
And Glenn going into Sector 3, going to make a Telltale Heart check, which will be power bomb data, and that will allow him to open up green doors. He's going to have to use a Shine Spark trick to only break certain blocks here, and then wait until he's in the corner, or he's going to lay a power bomb and we'll need to reset the room in order to go up there. Power bombs don't give you a bomb jump, so there's no way to get to that ledge as it currently is set, as you can't. Your vertical movement stops the second that you morph in Fusion. So the trick here is that our runners need to do a vertical Shine Spark at the last couple rows of blocks and then shoot out the top, and then that'll give them a ledge they can get on. Or Red has High Jump Boots, which did not notice that Glenn didn't have, so Red able to just bounce up in there. Oh, Glenn missing the shot block here. Unfortunately, gonna have to reset the room and start over. Red, meanwhile, opening up green doors, and Sector 3 has some other items. We've got Space Jump in 3, main missile data if our runners want to go fight Box. We have Ice Beam, as well as Wide Beam across the first tech run, and Diffusion data, so not a whole lot that's juicy here for our runners. Red gonna go down to pick up Space Jump from the PB Stretchy. Glenn, on the other hand, headed back to Sector 1 here. Going to need to go pick up the High Jump Boots. So, going into Sector 6. Sector 6 will have bombs and Varia suit. So,
A minor thing to note.
versions.
We just made a slight update. As the bot has reminded me, we do have a sort of cause that we're hoping to support with this event as well. We were thinking about having a prize pool for the tournament, but we opted instead that if you wanted to throw money at the tournament, just throw it to some charity instead. It
Looks like Mental Health America.
Mental Health America, yeah. a pretty underrated topic, just in general, in people's lives.
Yeah, one that fortunately has been getting a lot more talk and a lot less stigma around it, but still definitely need more support for people who are running into mental health issues. A good cause there. Thank you for pointing out that we are doing that, because I didn't even know that was a thing here.
Yeah.
Okay, Glenn coming out of Sector 6. Meanwhile, Red in Sector 4, picking up the lower item in Sarah's escape, which is Screw Attack. That is hard required in this seed. Looks like all that will be left that Red needs to pick up. Oh, Glenn resetting. I didn't quite see what happened on that side of the screen.
Making use of those save warp strats.
And it looks like all I can see that Red needs are Gravity and Plasma Beam. Plasma is locked behind yellow doors in Sector 5, so I think we'll see that after red doors, and Gravity Suit is going to be in the antechamber in Sector 1. The left axis of that is yellow locked in Sector 5, so not going to be the fastest of routing. Looks like Red trying to make a decision on where to go next. And as far as I can tell, Red wants to pick up the wide beam that is across the first tech run. Wide beam, of course, is a huge time save. Saving, depending on skill level, you're looking at maybe 45 seconds on the low end, can go more. Picking up diffusions to add a little bit of damage against the ice core, as well as a source of ice to get out of lower sector 4, although with Screw that is not necessary. And what else is Red gonna pick up?
Ooh, getting denied by that bomb block.
And Glenn getting trolled a little bit by the bulls in Sector 1, sparking across the lava dive to pick up high jump, as well as going to pick up charge beam on the far end. And I think we're going to see Red go to Sector 1 now. If not, I am not sure what other play there would be to make. Oh, Diffusion Double's still on the bingo card. A holdover from the last tournament, whenever missile cooldown was based just on whatever the highest missile you had was, rather than cooldown, so I think that square might need to be updated. And Red making the way up into the antechamber to become purple. And then, rudely enough, the connector here will take him to Sector 5, however he'll be locked behind a yellow door, so he could pick up the item in the magic box, which is an E-tank. Red says, I've got 2 E-tanks, I'm fine. So all he's got left to do is open up red doors. I would assume pick up wide beam across the first tech run on the way out of lower 4. Oh no, picking it up into 4 because he's going to go through 3 across the first tech run, break through the connector into 4 and fall down into the back half of 5. That way he's able to break Sector 5 without picking up Varia Suit. That is a bit of a risky play with the SAX fight coming up. That means if he takes a hit from the Ice Beam, he will be frozen. Also showing off that Gravity Suit no longer prevents environmental damage. Wide Beam, the only major that does not open up any sort of progression whatsoever in this game, and arguably most runners' favorite major to pick up. Glenn, meanwhile, also in Sector 3, about to open up green doors. And Red does have a pretty low health pool and no Varia suit, so while he has a significant lead, there is a chance that if the SAX doesn't play nice, Glenn's not out of the running yet. Dropping down into the Sector 5 data room, picking up ice missiles. I did not even notice that one here.
That this particular check, as it turns out, has a very, very low chance of having any items. I think it might be part of one of the bugged item locations that just has such a low weighting that it actually can't have progression.
Very possible. I know we have that issue with bosses, which is something to be ironed out in a future version of the randomizer, but we don't have exact timing on that just yet.
Yeah, so although that is a very helpful major, and definitely a major players are going to wind up getting, it is not technically a required item.
The rando came out in summer of 2021. And this is the second tournament we've done with it. We're on version 0.11.6 so far. Last year we were on 0.9.0 and we're running without spoiler logs, so if anybody wants more Fusion Rando content, there is plenty up on SpeedGaming.
Actually just took a look at the spoiler log again. It looks like that actually was logically placed, so that's interesting. So the randomizer will consult the logic when it's placing items to determine whether or not you're able to get to locations, and once it determines that you're able to complete the seed, it basically stops using the logic to place items and just places items anywhere. But yeah, that was actually like 2/3 down the list.
Red getting denied but not paying for it. Trying to show off one of my favorite strats of stalling when you screw attack through that Kago because it has a high chance of dropping a red X. I want to say it's a 1 in 4 chance or a 1 in 2. But unfortunately just getting double yellows here. Now escaping through Sector 5, doing a reverse swag spark here to go through Mama Garubas's room, where we'll be able to pick up our final item, and that is 20 minutes and 18 seconds red in go mode in game 1 of this best out of 3. And Glenn's gonna have his work cut out for him if he wants to catch up here. Red also picking up a third E-tank. Makes sense, it's the next room over, never hurts to have a little bit of safety. So Glenn showing off a fun principle or part of the screw attack in that the first frame after you do a wall jump or a spin jump, the screw attack is not active yet. So you have to drop a little bit before you do a wall jump to get up into the antechamber here. That way your screw attack has time to engage to take out the screw attack blocks, and unfortunately Glenn going to find out that you can get into the magic box, but the door's locked.
Well, it is a nice E-tank at least.
Nice E-tank, and would be nice routing if the game were being a little less rude. And Red getting ready to, I assume, take a safety save here. Very rare to see a runner not take this save, because the SAX fight can go badly, especially with a spoiler log. You're not checking a bunch of locations, so a lot of times you're not going in with a ton of health. All it takes is one missed shot, and all of a sudden you're taking some hits from the SAX and you can end up dead. Or if you kill the second phase on the wrong frame, you can be soft locked. And I have it on good authority that soft locking is not fast. Red dropping the sunlock, unfortunately finding out that if you run into the SAX, even when it's frozen, it still does contact damage because video games.
Interesting.
Oh, and Red taking a death gets Metroided by the SAX. Glenn, meanwhile, back in Sector 6, going to the free E-Tank location to pick Various Suit back up.
I didn't actually know that doesn't let you stand on it.
And Schwartz, the SAX will only fire missiles when Samus is frozen, to my knowledge.
Or if you're hanging off a ledge, surprisingly, it actually knows that shooting a super missile at a wall will knock you loose.
Oh, interesting. In Electric, this is a best of 3. We are in Game 1. Red with a pretty strong lead here, already on the SAX, while Glenn not in Go mode yet. And Red about to take on the most cursed Hornode in the game. No match for him, and
Right
I
about to
suspect
discover it spawns in the ceiling.
yeah, you have to get it on screen just long enough to get it to start chasing you, otherwise it just gets stuck there. Using power bombs in order to pull in the green X to refill ammo. But yeah, the SAX will fire missiles when Samus is frozen, because Samus is a Metroid, and the SAX knows how to deal with those.
Propulsion sequence activated.
That's kind of a clever design.
Yeah, there was a lot of thought put into this game. I mean, even like another touch that if you're going through at the end of the game and you go out through Reactor, there are spots where you can see damage from the super spoilers end boss of the game. Yeah, she's Metroid enough to freeze. And Metroid enough not to crawl.
Yeah, I only realized recently that the path to the reactor silo to the left there is technically still partially available. That first room to the left exists, but is in a completely different state.
Oh no, where'd this Omega Metroid come from?
Oh no.
Red does not have all beams. Red just has charge, plasma, and wide.
Which actually, oh yeah, I guess they don't have ice beam, but is basically the best beam combo. I'm starting to. I'm not entirely sure if ice beam actually adds damage in this version of the randomizer, because I know the ice beam actually was adjusted just to be able to freeze things without killing them.
I'm
Because
not
the
sure.
ice beam properties are different from the ice missiles.
It might depend on if you have wide or not. I can't really tell. But also, that is game 1 in the books. Red finishing with an official racetime.gg time of 26 minutes, 17 seconds. Get your GGs in chat. And Avery, there is some expectation of going through the reactor, mostly if you don't know where you're trying to get or people are looking to get out. I was forgetting when that trigger happens, so that is actually the way the Hundo speedrun comes out of the sectors, but at that point that's not there yet. Schwartz, I see you with the cheeky 66 in chat there. And Glenn picking up Plasma Beam and looking at this. He hasn't opened reds yet, to my knowledge, so yeah, he just went down to grab yellows and is going to go get reds.
I like the way Red played it, unlocking reds and then getting plasma on the way out, because that is a pretty fast way to escape or get to main deck.
Yeah, I definitely like the way that Red routed the seed. I don't know that there's much that could have been done to be more efficient on it. At least not with the amount of time that is available to our runners. And as a note to anyone in the audience, our runners are also allowed to have a routing coach with them if they want. Most runners in the tournament have been enjoying the challenge of working without a routing coach, but some no-name runners, namely C. Scotty W and Hercules Bench Press, not sure if anyone's ever heard of them, have been having some coaches help them with their routing. And as we go on, it is possible we'll see more people incorporating routing coaches. It's also possible that we'll see people just enjoying the challenge of doing both at the same time.
Yeah, as the tournament goes on, there is also a higher availability of people willing to coach, because they may have been like knocked out of the tournament.
Yeah.
And coaching is also surprisingly fun, even if you're not playing the game. Dragon Fangs actually was thinking about joining, but he actually decided, you know what, I'd rather not play the game. I just want to see how it plays out and just like coach someone else. So he just
Dragon Fangs making the 1000 IQ play of being involved with Metroid Fusion, but also not having to play Metroid Fusion.
Yeah.
I mean, all Metroid Fusion speedrunners are united in trying to play the game as little as possible.
He also doesn't have to ever race against C. Scotty W because he's not in the tournament.
And see, Scotty W, he's pretty good at this game. I certainly wouldn't want to have to go up against him. Not that I'm looking forward in the bracket if I make it past the winner of these two. But we did have... You never know what's going to happen in a rando tournament, though. It is a great equalizer. And just as a reminder to everyone, this is a best out of 3. We are doing all 2 or 3 consecutively here today. This is Elimination Bracket Round 2 between Red and MetalGlennSolid. Red taking Game 1. And as an elimination bracket matchup, the loser is out of the tournament. The winner will go on to race against myself, I'm out of habit. And so I am doing my traditional strategy of scouting. That, or I just like talking about Metroid Fusion, and SpeedGaming hasn't kicked me off the channel yet.
Same.
It tends to depend on the tournament, Avery. That's one thing we've been noticing a lot in the Spoiler Block tournament. A lot of runners prefer not to keep too close an eye on the race room, so it is entirely possible that Glenn not aware that Red has finished. Schwartz, I believe the answer is that he hasn't found enough of the Dragon Balls yet.
I forget what kind of missiles Glenn has at this point. Does he have diffusion and or ice?
The tracker says that he just has supers. He has Ice Beam, which you can do a stun lock with Ice Beam. The timing is a bit tighter. With Ice Missiles, you can restart the freeze timer by refreezing the SAX. With Ice Beam, you can't, so if you hit the SAX while it's already frozen, no effect. Yeah, Conster, you will not have great luck in getting runners to get all beams in the spoiler log because people will go out of their way to avoid Wave Beam whenever possible.
Yeah.
Unless apparently their name is Army of One.
Yeah, actually the wave beam is it's treated a little bit differently in the randomizer because of the way the vanilla game handles it is that it just retroactively gives you all of the previous upgrades along with whatever beam you have. In the randomizer, it was set to only give you specific combinations of upgrades. So it's actually specially coded. There's no vanilla handling of individual beam combos. So the beam combos were kind of specially programmed in by Kazuto.
Propulsion.
So the wave beam actually behaves a little bit differently than vanilla, and it kind of wiggles around and actually makes the stun lock on the final Omega fight significantly more difficult.
If a ROM hack ever adds in a third box, are we going to call it the Xbox 360? You know, now I'm just waiting for the Omega Series SX. Also, can we modify this game to run on the BSL Station 5? Or failing that, can we modify the commentator to say things worth saying? Speaking only about myself, of course.
I'm too busy snacking.
See, Jagger knows what's going on. Glenn, meanwhile, getting a stun lock on the Omega, and will finish in second with an official racetime.gg time of 35 minutes and 49 seconds. Unlike last time, we don't have any major stream delay, but there is a bit of a restream delay. I want to say it's about 30-45 seconds. So, apology for the 13 seconds of spoilers there. Also, while we get this wrapped, I will just look ahead at the calendar as well, because we do have more Fusion on the way. Tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, Friday, November 4th, we have a winner's bracket semifinals matchup between Jagger G and C Scotty W. Saturday night, Sunday morning, however you want to think about it, November 6th at 12 a.m. Eastern, or Saturday at 9 p.m. Pacific, we'll be bringing the other winner's quarterfinal matchup between Nye and Big Ohm.
So, and with that, welcome on in Glenn and Red. GG's on the match. How did y'all like the seed?
Oh no, that was a good seed. I just can't read.
Oh, what happened with the reading part?
My brain doesn't remember half the room names, so I read the coordinates instead, and I'm like, oh wait, that's like 2 rooms over, and I needed yellows.
Oh no. Yeah,
Yeah, well.
Like I was finishing up the Omega, and I hear Hugo say he's in 6 or he's in 5. It's like, wait, what? Thought he'd be
'Cause
ahead
I
of me.
can't read. Oh,
Unfortunately, just not enough screen real estate to have the maps open with all of the names.
At least it was an E-Tank.
Yeah.
oh well. That's why there's another one. Maybe.
My phone.
Yeah, I mean, chat was asking earlier during the race here who I wanted to face, and I said that I want you two to 2v1 me, so like,
Oh.
if you both just want to win, I'm not stopping it. But I'm also not a tourney admin, so, you know, Jagger might have to say someone has to win.
No one wins, everyone loses. Scotty is inevitable at the end of the day.
Oh my god.
Homer wins.
Wrecked.
Homer is a very good doggo, so I have to agree there.
Oh man, yeah. GG's Glenn.
GG's.
That back and forth though was kind of annoying and getting on my nerves midway through.
I think one of the big things that set the two of you apart was that you both were actually in Sector 3 to open green doors around the same time. A big difference was that Red, you had already gone into the lava dive to pick up your high jump boots, and Glenn didn't have that yet, so you were able to get green doors open a little bit faster, and it looked like, unfortunately, Glenn was having a bit of trouble getting the positioning to cheese the way in there.
I only tried it once, so.
I was thinking whether or not if once I realized that that lava dive, both lava dive near and far, were both majors. I asked Hugo, I was like, couldn't I just go 1, grab them both, and go back to 3? He's like, yeah, you could do that. Probably okay. I still have to double dip 1 regardless to get gravity, but
Yeah, but that's a pretty quick dip. Although annoying routing for the seed that you have to go get gravity from the antechamber, and Sector 5 is right there, except that it's blocked behind a yellow door.
yeah. Another thing was I think it's weird having someone partially route for you. It's like at the same time, yeah, I'm gonna listen to him. I'm gonna listen to Hugo, and I'm thinking. Then I just I start throwing out my own ideas, and he starts thinking about it. It's very interesting dynamic, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I haven't had anyone coaching me so far yet, but I can imagine that it's interesting having the back and forth. Has that been helping you out here, though? Having someone else helping guide you through the seed?
I can't tell yet. Again, I'm doing this just to see how it hits, like see how well it works so far. And I want to say it's a positive thing. It's like it's helping, but at the same time, it's just weird for me to have someone that's competent route for me.
Yeah, it definitely has its pros and cons. I know Scotty and Dragon Fangs have definitely had their ups and downs with their experience.
Yeah, and I know there were a couple of times where Scotty has said that Fangs has told him to do one thing, and he just deleted half the words from his mind and went to the wrong place.
Oh boy. Sounds wonderful.
It's like, oh, you wanted me to get this check, but actually I picked up the check over there.
Right,
That
well,
thing, I kind of wish I would have had a coach for one of my races where I decided to soft lock myself and maybe could have used the check of, hey, Autumn, you don't want to go there. That's a bad idea.
that place bad. No go.
It did, in fact, and I'm not saying what race so that I don't spoil anything too much, but it did, in fact, cost me a game.
Hmm. All right. Well, I'm gonna probably head back to that call with Hugo in preparation for the next one.
All right,
GG's
sounds good.
and good luck. Have fun for this next one.
Good luck.
Glenn?
we look forward to seeing the next race.
And we'll give the players a few minutes.
And Avery, I forgot that you got me hard locked with a channel point redemption once.
Nice. How'd that
Although,
happen?
when I have chat bullying me into going places, I'm much less worried about winning.
Is that Ridley or something? Oh, Ceres.
Oh, yeah, I went down into Turian without Wave Beam.
Ah. Oh no.
Wait, I saved there? Oh, did you redeem a fight Ridley? And I was scared. I remember this now. I think I intentionally had forgotten that. You heard it here first, folks. The best way to handle your problems is just forget they ever happened. Note that this is not legal advice. I am not your lawyer. I am in fact not anyone's lawyer, and that's probably a good thing. To be fair, Avery, that is at least a very memorable thing to have happen. We're just getting set up for game 2 here. And by that, I mean Jagger is doing all of the stuff to get set up, and I'm just saying some words for whatever reason.
I'm just letting them know the conditions of the next seed and letting them veto if desired. So we do let them know ahead of time what kind of shenanigans go on in the seed, but we don't give the entire spoiler log. At the very least, it lets them mentally prepare, even if they don't want to veto the seed.
Looks like our runners are okay with this. Also, as a fun note, the room name for this one is Amused Jigglypuff. So if there are any Jigglypuffs in chat, I guess you're in for a good time. And this is a very fun randomizer. You just need to not make actively bad decisions just to entertain people if you want to succeed. As said, we are getting the files distributed here. And while we do that, I'm going to take a look over at what SpeedGaming has going on in general today, because those are things I haven't talked about yet. So let's see, we are on Thursday, November 3rd. We have a Mega Man 3 Any% tournament going on over on SpeedGaming 2. Over on SpeedGaming Main, Chrono Trigger Jets of Time race will be coming up, although that will largely overlap with this one. A number of Link to the Past randomizer races going on throughout the evening. At 8 p.m. on SpeedGaming 3, 8 p.m. Eastern Time that is, there's actually a race in the Crystallis randomizer tournament. So that is a randomizer I have yet to see. Something that we can check out later. And that is about what we've got. We've got Jets of Time, Mega Man 3 Any%, Crystallis Rando, and all of the Link to the Past you can shake a stick at. And of course, tune in tomorrow on Speed Gaming. We haven't said which Speed Gaming channel yet, but one of them. We are at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, going to have our match between Jagger G and C Scotty W in the winners semifinals. Best of 3 on that. I will be in the booth alongside Sinister. And then Saturday night, Sunday morning, however you want to look at it, at Saturday night at 9 p.m. Pacific, and I'll do that so that we don't have to figure out what day it is. We have the other winners semifinals between Nye and Big Ohm. That said, I have stalled enough that we are just about ready to go. Our runners have readied up. So we will be underway soon. Jagger, Conster is asking us what our favorite Mega Man games are.
4.
Mine is 3. And that's if we're going on mainline Mega Man. If we go all Mega Man properties overall, then I go for what is considered objectively a wrong answer, and I am a huge fan of Mega Man X3.
It's pretty popular. Not the most popular, but it's pretty popular.
Oh, and we're going to have that race between Big Ohm versus Nye going on through daylight saving time in some time zones.
If we're talking other than the classic series, I'd go with 0-1.
Nice. I haven't played that in a long time. I really enjoyed it. You know what else I enjoy? It's Metroid Fusion Randomizers. We have Game 2 between Red and MetalGlennSolid in the Elimination Bracket Round 2. Starting off now, they are talking to Adam, finding out that they need to get Charge Beam, Plasma Beam, missiles, and open up red security doors.
Interestingly, they already have a nearly full tracker. This is going to be a... Oh, wait.
Do we even have a tracker, or have you just been handling that, Jagger?
I've been handling it.
Shout out to our tracker, Jagger G, for doing a much better job than if you make me track. I can track other games. Like, give me Final Fantasy 1 Rando, I'm great. Give me Fusion, nope. But our runners are making their way up. We don't have too much time until they get their first item, but chat, what do we think it's going to be? Do we have Morph Ball, do we have Speed Booster, or do we have some flavor of missiles? So we have a question in chat, Jagger, for who rolled the seed.
That would be me.
We got Jagger G special here, and we have a speed start. Our runners will waste no time in going fast. And I don't see exactly the progression here looking through it, but this seat not super spread out. We've got items on the main deck. We've got 4 and 6, which are our starting sectors, and we've got 1 lone item in 5. Now, the fun thing about a speed start, and we don't get to see it as much now, as it seems like the randomizer bias is more toward missiles and even morph. But you normally need Morph Ball in order to get to the main elevator. However, if you carry a set of Shine Sparks up the main stairwell, you can do a Shine Spark through and get to the main elevator. And Glenn remembering that this is a speed start. So Red taking a bit of a lead, sparking, storing the spark on the first stairwell. Going for the safe option, lining up with the second stair from the top, and Red is through. At the
This
bottom
is a
of
bit
the
of a tricky one.
bottom of the elevators, we've got sectors 4 and 6, and we've got Morph Ball at the main elevator. Red picking that up. Glenn also through here.
So this is a bit of a situation that we've decided to to be more proactive in letting the players know. The only item they have available at this point is actually pretty deep in Sector 6 here. They have to actually Shine Spark through a Gearon at the start of Sector 6 and do a Shine Spark to escape the free E-Tank in Sector 6.
They actually can get Space Jump before that. Space Jump, the first item in Sector 6, you can open up that path
true.
with a Shine Spark.
That's a good point.
Granted, I don't know that too many people realize you can do that. And Space Jump without High Jump, arguably... Oh, Red taking a death. Did he save?
Making use of that safety save, yeah. Yeah, these... once you get down to the sectors, especially if you don't have E-Tanks, it's very, very wise to save. You're going to save yourself like 3 minutes if you take a pretty common death.
Yeah, and you can just ignore all of the enemies in this room and bring in a speed charge, and if you position it just right, you don't get hit and knocked out of it. Also, I'm looking and it looks like the screw attack, which is going to be required with this set of sectors because they don't have any way to open the doors to get to anything other than 4 and 6, is up in the Arachnus area, so the seed is a bit rude. Glenn is breaking through the purple Garen, Red a little bit ahead, and then is Glenn gonna pick up the space jump? I wonder if he saw that. There's also high jump boots in Mission Impossible that not able to be picked up, although you can get in there. Oh, Red taking another unfortunate death. And Glenn is going to pick up the space jump ability and have a little bit more ability to get out of there. And with Mission Impossible, the other check over here being high jump, I bet our runners really wish that those were reversed right now. And
Yeah,
Red getting the spark.
It's funny, there was a bit of consternation. Glenn was actually worried about this because getting out of the free E-Tank without high jump is pretty tricky.
Glenn taking a cool 69 damage from an Ice X there. Gonna have to be very careful not to take any other hits until he's out. Various suit nowhere to be found in Sector 6.
But yeah, he said, we'll do it live. And here he is ahead of Red for now. We'll see how well he does. With those power bombs, he actually just take the normal way out. That's nice.
He can take the normal way out, but the problem is going to be that there's no Various suit.
There's
and you
also
have to make
no
it past...
level 3, level 2 locks. There's a green door in the way. So, Wine Cellar, however, is Charge Beam. With the space jump, Glenn can actually get that right away. That's pretty clever, pretty sneaky routing.
He's gonna have to be careful because this room is full of Ice X under the block, and one will kill him. And farming from these to pick up Charge Beam does have power bombs left, so a good heads up play to get out of the wine cellar and save another trip. Lower 6 only also has, in the pantry we have super missile data, which is nice to have, but can easily be skipped. Oh, Red taking damage from an Ice Axe here, trying to get out. And that actually, Charge Beam helps with getting out here as well, because you can more easily release it without having to worry about timing for the shot. But our runner's not out of the water yet. And I didn't see if Glenn took a safety save or not.
He did. I'm pretty sure.
And it looks like...
It didn't say down here. But...
The Ice Axe catching up and sniping Red. That's going to be another death.
But he died like right outside of the room, so he's pretty fine here.
Taking advantage of the ability to refill on the enemies here. And I don't know, if I'm our runners, I take a safety save in that room there. Just because you don't have enough to deal with this. Red not holding left.
I'm not. I don't blame him.
Oh, Glenn gets
Nice.
hit out of the Shine Spark, but gets far enough to get through the blocks. Pretty hype there, and worried about that blue X to be sure.
Same.
But very
No.
heads up play
Ooh, okay.
to use a ledge grab to get through. Red, meanwhile, trying to get out of this room just a little bit too low on that spark.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough one. Glenn playing it a bit safe here, making sure. Okay, just going for it. It was trying to power bomb the that ledge up there. Those are bomb blocks, so you can power bomb them or screw attack them. Right next to the door.
Yeah, Glenn has taken a bit of time here, so he may be afraid that he is behind his opponent. Doesn't know what we know, that Red is just being given fits here, trying to get out of this area. Laying a power bomb to stun the Ice Axe. Unfortunately, hitting a Shine Spark input and gonna go through here.
Yeah. It's kind of tricky to wall jump without breaking spin. And unfortunately, when you break a spin and then try to jump, that will trigger the Shine Spark.
And the next thing our runners have to do is go into Sector 4, because they need some sort of missiles to get up into the Arachnus area.
It might be worth just climbing up that ledge and getting through.
Yeah, I
You
find
gotta
whenever I
climb
don't
some
have
ladder.
high jump, I always just climb up the ladder there rather than trying to do wall jumps. Just less potential for failed input. Red also playing it safe here with power bombs. Now Red doesn't
no.
have
Okay.
space jump or charge beam, so a little bit less to employ against these Ice Axe. Oh, the
no.
Ice Axe thawing and Red taking another death. You hate to see it.
That's just a case of it being frozen a little too low, and the back of his head just bonked into it as he climbed up.
Okay, what is Glenn up to? We've got Wide Beam is in the maintenance tunnel. He's not going to be able
Arachnus
to
area.
get... He hasn't picked up his
Uh,
missiles yet, though, so he can't
that's
get
right.
into the Arachnus area. Maybe looking for Spitter East
The
does have
gravity
Gravity Suit.
Yeah.
If you're
That's a good
already
pickup.
up here... picking up an E-Tank as well. I think you pick up Gravity and you pick up Wide while you're up here.
An E-Tank is certainly nice at this point.
I think Red would love to have one.
Yeah, it would have been nice earlier, but here we are.
Yeah, Gravity Suit gonna make Spitter Hallway a lot easier to survive.
Getting rocked like a hurricane.
Glenn opting out of going into the maintenance tunnel for Wide Beam. Glenn opting to save before he goes for Wide Beam. No. Come on, Red, you can do it. And Red is through.
And at this point, he could just tank this Ice Axe and it's fine.
Yeah, although still playing it very safe because he knows that there are other Ice Axe that want him dead.
Yeah, there are two more on the way out, but they're very easy to avoid. He actually just avoided a third one there by not shooting one of those blocks.
So both of our runners avoided shooting the bottom block, which is the right play here. And I know for anyone who speedruns the game, takes a little bit of thought to consciously not bomb out that block because you're so used to going through that bottom block in vanilla. Red going to pick up high jump. I'm curious to see if we'll see him pick up space jump as well.
We also have Glenn making use of another save warp strat.
That we do. Glenn sees that he needs to go into Sector 4. He's willing to sacrifice his gravity suit for the time being for that. Red will pick up Space Jump. So Sector 4, we're going to have Ceres escape with missiles and ice missiles. Varia suit is in the ouch room. And we've got Ice Beam in the waterway, which I don't think we'll see our runners pick up. The main question I have is, are we going to see our runners pick up Varia suit? I think Glenn will. I think Red will skip it. This is not required. The way to break Sector 5 logically in the seed will be screw attacking in through Sector 6. Glenn does not have to worry about any issues with mid-air morphing. Able to roll in and pick up ice missiles.
Yeah, ice effect added to missiles, and also missiles added to inventory.
And since he's already picked up his charge beam, we probably won't see him go down to pick up super missiles, so picking up missile data to double his damage to 20 instead of 10. Very welcome. That'll take the Ice X down to, or the Ice Core, down to only requiring 12 shots. Diffusion data is also free in the Arachnus area, so we can get some pretty decent missiles even without supers. Red is gaining on Glenn here, though. Looks like Red is going to... Where is Red going? Oh, going to the ouch room to pick up Varia.
Okay.
So Red thinking about how he needs to go back down into lower 6 to pick up Charge Beam eventually, and probably supers. Trying to pick up Varia to survive the Ice X. Meanwhile, Glenn already going back up to main deck for realsies this time.
Red wisely power bombing this entire room because those ouch, I believe, do 45 damage. I think I said 42 before, but I'm pretty sure it's 45.
I believe the technical term is more damage than he had health.
Yep. Accurate.
Glenn going to pick up gravity. The question is, will he try to also pick up wide beam? He will not. It's understandable. The Spitter hallway is a very dangerous room to traverse, and don't really have a good weapon to deal with them. Or to deal with the... I think they're gamers in that room? Red picking up ice missiles. Those are some pretty nice missiles to go along with a nice health value. Being careful with the ouch here. Oh, being careful with the first ouch, dropping through and getting trolled into hitting the second one.
That'll happen.
I don't know if the power bombs will... Well, I mean, the power bombs would kill the spitters eventually, at least. But that would be slow, and we're trying to go fast here.
The metal gamers in the spitter hallway, actually, you can defeat them with a regular beam. If you're far away, they don't shield it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Also, I just figured out why our runners wanted space jump, because that makes getting out of Sector 4 way easier, as they do not have to worry about where they freeze a crab to escape. Glenn almost falling down into the Arachnus arena and missing the required screw attack up in the attic. Would have had to go all the way around. That would have been a costly error. Fortunately, he's able to pick up the screw attack in the attic, and it's been a while since we've said it, but folks, we've got a plasma hunt. And Glenn wants a few extra missiles here, opting to show off that Arachnus is very vulnerable to screw attack. And that's an extra 5 missiles. And all Glenn needs now is Plasma Beam, which is in the Nightmare Recharge area in lower Sector 5. Red now also on the way up to the Arachnus fight area. Opting to choose to pick up gravity afterward. So as far as routing in, the only real benefit to not getting Varia is just saving time from going out of the way to the outroom in Sector 4. But Red still needs to go into lower Sector 6. Glenn making the smart play after picking up power bombs to go pick up the... Since he had opened up Space Jump to pick up Charge Beam while he was already down there, doesn't need to contend with Ice X anymore, whereas Red does. But yeah, it's just basically taking a risk to save a bit of time. As far as routing with red doors, Avery, since our runners do need to go into through that part of 5 in order to get to lower 4 anyway, I think that we just see them route it on the way down because Sector 4 will exit into Sectors 1 and 6. And Waterway has Ice Beam, and it looks like Glenn wants Ice Beam, so going back into Sector 4 for that. Red picking up a little bit of time here by not fighting Arachnus. And we've got a race on our hands here, folks. And it looks like Glenn does want to pick up Varia.
That will break Sector 5, so that's certainly handy, but do they need to?
They don't. The only access to Sector 5 is breaking through the connector because it is locked. Well, I guess they technically could go down to the reactor and open up blue doors. Then exit 2 out through the reactor after fighting Notori.
It's an option.
It is an option. I don't think it's recommended.
But also, it will prevent them from getting frozen from the SAX shots.
Yeah, and I think safety is worth it. Red getting trolled by one of the blocks here. Fortunately, having enough power bombs to get through.
Also discovering you can't actually screw attack that bomb block. Even though it's a bomb block, it's actually a chain bomb block, which does not react to screw attack at all.
Red picking up wide beam. We have seen that make the difference in races before. Glenn picking up a little bit of extra ammo for safety. And it looks like his order of operations is to go through lower 4. I like this routing, actually. I was questioning the decision to go get Ice and Varia, but since he can go through 4 through 6 into the back half of 5 with a nice little space boost there.
Well, the Varia didn't really make too much difference, but yeah, definitely going through here. It's pretty neat.
Yeah, it's more the idea of... I was kind of questioning the idea of taking a trip into 4 just to pick up 2 optionals, but with this routing, I can see why it was done. And with that, Glenn, the first runner into Broken Sector 5. Meanwhile, Red needing to still go into Sector 6 to pick up Charge Beam.
I'm actually going up to the Nightmare area, surprisingly. It's going to be getting them their plasma beam. We rarely see this section of the map.
Yeah, I actually, if I were running this seed, it is about a 70% chance I would have just run through into lower Sector 4, and I think Glenn taking a quick look to see which check it's going to be. Because a lot of runners don't know exactly what all of the rooms are, which, fair. They're, unlike Jagger and I, they're not the ones who put together a whole document full of names.
Mm-hmm.
So probably checking a map to see which of the checks in the Nightmare area it is, as Nightmare Recharge is at least pretty explanatory that it's in the Nightmare area. Meanwhile, Red also back into Sector 5, choosing to do that instead of going for Charge Beam. So while our runners appear to be pretty close together, Glenn does have a pretty sizable lead. Now the question is, do we have any reasonable E-tanks that our runners can pick up? Because I don't think either of them are happy going into the late game with only 2.
Airlock has one. Red already passed that though.
It looks like Airlock, Break Room would have had one.
Oh well, he has wide beam, so that's fine.
That explains Glenn's choice to go the top route here to avoid picking up the Wave Beam. And because Red has not chosen to get Ice Beam, he will have a difficult time if he wants to stun lock the Omega Metroid.
He's got ice missiles.
I mean, that'll help with the SAX, but not with the Omega.
Yeah. I do wonder, like, it probably needs testing, but the ice beam damage has been changed because of the aforementioned freezing effect, like the different freezing effect of ice beam.
Glenn
I
saving
don't
himself
know.
from this.
I thought it increased damage a little, but I don't actually know if that's the case in Rando at this time.
Yeah, someone just needs to actually lab it out. But health values make that one a bit tricky to lab.
Because I believe it does increase damage in vanilla, but has been changed. So.
Yeah, and I know it used to in previous versions of the Rando, because it would automatically give you the Ice Beam pseudo screw damage, which is 48.
Oh yeah, that still applies.
Oh, Red deciding to skip the Red X dropped from the Kago. I like the routing to drop from Sector 4 here back into Sector 6 to get the last couple items he needs. He's behind, but his routing is keeping him in this.
Without Charge Beam, you could actually backdoor the Charge Beam in the pantry area. Yeah, it looks like that's what he's doing. The wine cellar has Charge Beam, but pantry actually has super missiles.
Yeah, and he'll have to be careful, because if he tries to go out the way that he came in, he's gonna have a boss fight on his hands.
But he's got 4 power bombs. That's plenty to get through.
Yep, and picking up a missile expansion in the higher jump hole. Why not? You're already here.
Necessary.
Not even a room transition there. Glenn, meanwhile, on the way up to fight the SAX, just has charged plasma ice.
And also to note, Red is co-oping with his partner the mouse cursor, so it's gonna be helping out on the way through the final bosses.
The dream team of Red, Hugo, and the mouse cursor.
Unfortunately, they forgot to inform him that Charge Beam is right behind him. Alright, they let him know. Alright, sweet.
Yeah, it looks like Glenn was going for the diagonal stun lock, dropping it and just going for the more traditional fight here. Taking a hit, glad that he has the various suit there to cut down on damage and not be frozen.
This will be a pretty long fight without wide beam. It was a pretty lengthy detour to get wide beam for Red, but it might wind up being worth it.
It'll absolutely be worth it, because even I would say wide beam under the best of circumstances will save you about 45 seconds combined between this and the Omega. And can be upwards of a minute, just depending on what kind of fight you're going with. And didn't spend that much time to pick it up, so that plus the convenience and the safety of knowing when you have stun locks, absolutely helpful. But also Glenn is already fighting the most cursed Sword Node in the game, and Red still needs to get up to the main deck.
Yeah, with the refreeze strat, it's actually not that much longer for the SAX fight without wide beam. I think it's like 11 shots or so if you do the diagonal strat.
Yeah, the difficulty
Significantly
is
more with horizontal strat, but still not so bad.
yeah, the trick is just that a little bit harder to hit the diagonal strats without wide beam. Still very doable.
It's mostly the fact that you have to do the diagonal strats in the first place. That's just difficulty in itself.
The real fun is when you have ice wave with no wide and you don't have high jump and you try to do diagonal strats. Your commentator does not recommend that.
Mhm.
At least one of them doesn't. I can't speak for Jagger here.
Well, I spaced out.
That's relatable. And our runners with a bit of a high five here. Or about to have. There's the high five. High fiving in the save room. Unfortunately, Red going to need more than a high five in order to save his chance of winning this game. So it's looking
Well-
like we are probably getting game 3.
Likely, but it's not set in stone yet. We still gotta deal with the Omega without wide beam. On 2 E-tanks, mind you. It's not very much health.
And one other thing to note is that Red doesn't have Ice Beam, so likely not going to get a Sunlock on the Omega. So that's a bit more in the time department here. That said, anything can happen, as we've seen in this tournament. It's not over until you hit dot done. SAX down for Red, Omega on screen for Glenn. Glenn playing it safe, knowing he doesn't have a ton of health. Omega down to blue. Oh, 2 hits, 1 more hit is death. Come on, Glenn, you've got this. You can give us the game 3. Oh, taking a death. You hate to see it. And just like that, Red has taken the lead. But with only 3 E-tanks, still has to get through the Omega Metroid without a beam that can stunlock. And
Going for
getting the
refresh
diagonal
cut.
shots here. Unfortunately, getting hit by an Ice Beam to knock away the Sunlock cadence. Trying to reset it on the ground. Getting it on the
Very
ground.
nice.
I don't know what's different in Rando versus Vanilla, but sometimes the SAX will get a shot off on you. I found in certain situations with certain loadouts, I actually will take a jump after I fire a shot because otherwise you can get hit. And it looks like Red is getting low height here, so getting some swag toward the end of the race. If Red kills the Omega here, that'll be GG's.
Glenn saving significant time with getting so many frozen shots there.
You love to see it in these tournaments where you see runners working on and getting their strats down as they're going through the races. Getting faster every time they play. Red has Orange Suit going up against the Omega Metroid. He's got 3 E-tanks, so a little bit safer, and he's got more damage output than Glenn has. But still, anything can happen in this fight. Playing it very safe here. Omega is red. Red's still at full health. And there's the Omega down. Get your GGs in the chat. as Red is going to take game 2 and the match in this Elimination Bracket Round 2 matchup with an official racetime.gg time of 33 minutes 14 seconds.
Bit of a heartbreaker finish. So there we have it.
Yeah, you hate to see that on Glenn's side.
Propulsion.
And so with that, Red's next opponent already set. Red gets to go up against me. Although it could be worse, as Jagger is about to go up against C. Scotty W tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on one of our SpeedGaming channels. TBD on which channel that will be.
Welcome, Red. Congratulations. That was a very close finish, actually.
That was such a clown fest. My God.
Yeah.
You
I warned
almost,
you.
you almost lost that one too, Red, because Glenn was through the SAX fight before you.
I figured.
Unfortunately, poor Glenn took it death against the Omega, and that was all the time you needed to catch up.
Did he just get too close to it and it double swiped?
Yeah, he went in with 2 E-tanks, and he did not pick up wide beam.
Okay.
So you were in a bit of a safer position for the end of the game.
Can I get Hugo in here anyone or no? How do I do that?
Sure, you could send him a link to the
Okay.
server. It'll just get cleared automatically after the episode.
And Glenn going for round 2 against the SAX.
Welcome on in, Hugo. Great job dealing with Red, handling him through the Sector 6.
Red is good to work with.
Yeah.
Man, those ISEX, man, they just would not let up.
Yeah, that was a smart play to take a save down there, though, so that you at least didn't have to go running through the sector.
I told him if I missed the trick once, I'm probably just gonna take the save because I don't feel like running down there again.
And welcome on in, Glenn.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi.
GG Glenn.
I tried.
That was a really close one.
Yeah, I tried hard too, man.
I died to the Omega Metroid because I tried to hit him with the whole run and gun razzle dazzle. He said no.
Actually got cornered there as well.
That was unlucky. Oh, well.
My blunder is the wave beam. I was feeling myself getting that plasma beam and running into 4. It's like, ooh, what's this?
Oh.
I was wondering why Glenn went top route there, and then you pick up
I
wave
looked at
beam.
the log and I went, "Oh, it's wave beam down there."
I was
heck
probably
no. I'm
I
not
was gonna
accidentally
skip.
grabbing that.
I normally go that way, and I know how to skip that item, but I intentionally double backed. Was like, what's this?
So wait, you grabbed wave beam? Did you end up having to go for
already
wide
had
then?
wide.
Oh, you already went out for wide.
I already had
Okay.
wide beam.
So it's not that bad.
Yeah, I know, but still, no stun lock. But either way,
Yeah, also,
it's
Glenn, I have
particularly
to give you
difficult.
props for the decision in Sector 6, picking up the space jump on your way in, using the Shine Spark to open that up, and using that so that you could get Charge Beam on your first try and completely avoid double dipping back into lower 6. That was an excellent play there.
I asked Jagger in the race room before we started. He said it's a speed start. I said, "Do I get high jump first?" No. Well, he didn't lie to me.
Actually, Jagger didn't realize you had space jump available either.
Yeah, that's true.
He was saying that the only thing available was power bombs, and I was looking at the log. I'm like, you can get space jump. The downside
I'd
is
forgotten
you
about
have
that.
space
But he
jump.
did ask for high jump specifically.
I did
which
say
was
high
not
jump.
available.
I was thinking I should go for the space jump, but nah.
I think that was the first thing I saw when I saw free E-Tank. I went, Oh, wait a minute.
I
I
already
see
died.
space jump in Sector 6. Where is
Already
that? Ooh.
I already died to the flyers. It's like I'm not going for it.
They weren't that bad.
I died once, man. It was enough.
Like immediately after saving, so at least you saved.
Yeah, I was like, I'm gonna die here a lot.
Nope, not worth it.
Yeah.
So
I got a 1919 this time around.
Nice.
Why do I keep syncing up my times and percentages? How do I do this?
twice in a row. Let's go.
Incidentally, the average between my numbers is also 19.
A 2018.
2018.
I do love it when the numbers sync up. I don't know, we could always make a runner's agreement, Red, that in our race, we have to sync them. That'll be a disaster.
Oh my god.
Oh my
God.
god.
Can
That already sounds like torture.
someone also clip it that I killed the SCX with a screw attack?
Nice. Good
Oh,
work.
did you?
Yes.
Nice.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, I killed it with a screw attack.
Yep, that
That was
is
the first.
technically possible.
Not recommended, but GG
Mhm.
on that. Chat, get on the clip.
Let's see here. So, did anyone catch the Red's turn around to grab charge beam?
Yeah, we sure did.
I have Hugo to thank. I almost walked out of there without it.
I was like,
You're like,
who's
ah,
on
this is
there?
a nice
He's lying
detour
to
for
chat and
supers.
said that he didn't get charge beam.
The entire point of going there.
No, it's for the
I
supers,
do that
obviously.
from time to time.
Always
Okay, at
for the
least you didn't
supers.
double back to try to go out the way you came in.
No, I was never gonna do that. No.
Man, my notes are a mess. It's all written on paper.
Yeah, Hugo, have you done any spoiler log races before?
Nope.
Cool.
Only
How do you
commented
enjoy
with
the
it.
experience?
It's I mean, the start of the second one was stressful.
Mhm.
It was stressing me watching Red go through that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
And the
It's a good
the
jump.
final take that worked was actually my suggestion to Red's like, hey, stun that Ice Axe twice. So like, get Shrine Spark, go back left, shoot up, and then go to the thing.
It was cool watching your strats evolve throughout the course of trying to get out of there, not just throwing yourself at it the same way the same time.
It's like I'm gonna shoot it and then just wall jump. I'm gonna jump up there. Nope, Ice Axe. Oh, let me try wall jumping. He's just gonna fly into me. Let me power bomb it. I fell down a couple times. I made it. And then the Ice Axe at the top was just too low for me to squeeze through.
Yeah, I think
Meanwhile,
the
Glenn
wall
got
hit me on the
lucky.
way up. I still broke the speed blocks. Like, nope, good enough. Good enough. Get
Oh,
out.
you lucked
Yeah.
out. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that one happen before.
I've had that happen to me once.
I think that's the second or third time it's actually done that to me.
It'll happen to me my next race now.
Oh, I look
One of the
forward.
few
I hope
enemies that can
not.
actually hurt you while shine sparking.
Oh god.
Also, we never like Sector 2, 1, and 3 are just abandoned on this
Yeah.
seed.
Yeah, I saw that. I went,
Completely.
wait.
I saw Nightmare Reach. I saw Nightmare Reach. Where it's like, oh, I gotta fight Nightmare. Let's go.
Me too. I went, oh god, okay. I don't have a problem with Nightmare. Oh, I'm wrong. Let's go.
The one that gets you to fight Nightmare is above Nightmare, where you do the little
Yeah,
portal
the
tunnel.
The
Yeah,
Nightmare.
I was like, oh, I gotta go open. Was I thinking I had to open yellows? I don't know what I was thinking. Because I had screw attack at that point. I'm like, wait, Nightmare recharge. I could just screw attack in. I'm good.
I think that's
Yeah.
it from me tonight. GG's, Glenn.
GG's.
GG's to
GGs.
both of you. And Red, I look forward to seeing you in the next round, as your next
Alright.
opponent is in Losers Round 3 against me. And Glenn, unfortunately out of the tournament, but great run here, and we look forward to seeing you in future competitions.
Yay.
Yeah, thanks for playing.
You're welcome. This was fun.
Sweet.
Bye bye.
Bye.
right. Anyone else got any final thoughts?
I think I'm good. Jacker, you want to take us home?
Cool. Yeah, tomorrow's the next match. About the same time, 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So we will see you all there. It's between me and Scotty Fangs.
And I'll be talking about it.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye, Speed Gaming. See you next mission.